Hello, hello, hello. Hello, all. Welcome to Kingdom Things Podcast, Knowledge is Power Edition, here on the Kingdom Things Podcast YouTube channel. Today we are focusing on the Hermetic principle of polarity. The Hermetic principle of polarity. Now, if you're wanting to find a more concise place or you would like to read upon the Hermetic principles, there is a book, The Kabbalion, where the Hermetic principles are not only written out, all 7 of them are written out, but they're also theorized about in that book as well. So the reason why I'm doing one Hermetic principle per video is so that not only can you learn the principle and kind of cognize it and kind of soak it in, the one principle per time, per video, but you're also able to kind of look around in your life to see where that principle plays out in your life. So today we are learning the principle of polarity, Hermetic principle of polarity. What is the Hermetic principle of polarity? The Hermetic principle of polarity states that every pair has is a dual. So everything has an opposite pairing. So hot, cold, love, hate, right, wrong. There is a duality in every whole. In every whole, every pair, there is a duality, polar opposites in that whole. Now, that's the really cool thing about this principle of polarity, which we see played out in our daily lives. We see this polarity played out in our daily lives. You know, do I go left or right? The ball goes up and down. North Pole, South Pole. We see this principle of polarity played out in our everyday lives, but we more focus in our humanism, in our linearity, we more focus on the dual, the left, right, wrong. Those energies, the dual polar energies that seem to be opposite to each other, are actually the same energies in varying degrees, in opposite degrees.
To exhibit polarity are the same energies existing in 2 different spaces, as we would interpret it or perceive it, 2 opposite spaces. Love and hate are the same energies vibrating in 2 opposite spaces, or existing in 2 opposite spaces. So with feeding hate with higher vibrational energies such as love, happiness, light, compassion, we're actually feeding energies into hate, and which will change the vibration of the energy that is. Eventually, that energy that is hate will no longer be vibrating at the frequencies of hate, but a more vibrational energy, a more high vibrational energy.
So that was a TikTok clip explaining that the energies that appear to be dual, appear to be opposite, are actually the same energies in varying degrees. So when we think of that, polarity, opposites, in our brains we think that if they're opposite, then they must not relate to each other. They're separate from each other. When we think of polarity, we think of opposites, we think of separation. We think of separation. How does polarity and dualism, what does it have to do with my life? How does that play out in my life? With stepping into becoming conscious creators of our lives is expanding into the understanding of how we create our lives. Because we already create our lives. We are the master creators of our lives. We're already creating our lives. But are we creating our lives intentionally? We already create our lives, but are we creating our lives intentionally? A lot of us know. Actually, most of us know. And why? Because we have these programmings that are wired into our DNA. We have these programmings, these beliefs that we take on as our truths, that limit us to what we're able to create. We are limitless beings. In our truest truth, our truest form, we are energies. We are energy manifested into these bodies. We are energies seated with the energy of the Most High Creator. So we are energies seated with the energy of the Most High Creator, the Master Physicist, the Creator behind all that is. We incarnate as humans on the earth realm to continue that process of creation, to create, learn from our creations, and then create again, the same way that God, Goddess, Source, the Most High, the Central Sun does. The Central Sun, Source, the Most High, God, Goddess takes the information from all of its spawns, so all of us, all of its creations, and what we create, what we learn from, we take that back to, that energy goes back to the Most High, Source, God, Goddess, the Central Sun, and the Central Sun creates more from what it learns from the energies that we send back. So we incarnate as energies seated with the energy of the Most High Creator. We incarnate as humans on this earth realm to continue that process, to mimic, to mirror that process of creation. We're here to be conscious creators, to consciously create our lives, learn from what we created, and then create some more. This process is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be invigorating. We're supposed to love it. We're supposed to enjoy life. But we come into this plane where we have been indoctrinated and programmed with these beliefs that seem to separate us. These beliefs that at first glance seem to separate us, seem to polarize us. So at first glance, these beliefs seem to separate and polarize us. But the law of polarity says that the opposites, the unlike and the like, are really the same thing. So the unlike and the like that we perceive to be separate are really the same thing, at a same energy at varying degrees. So the way that the law of polarity fits in your life, it's understanding that the energies that we encounter in our day, the energies that we are, the things that these energies that we, in our minds, we put labels on. We put labels on these energies that seem to separate us, but these energies don't have a name. These energies are anonymous. These energies are anonymous. They don't have a name. We put the meaning. We place the meaning on these energies. What does that mean? That means that you have the power to determine how you perceive this life, this world, your life, your energy, yourself. You have the power to determine how you perceive yourself. We're all the same energy. Everything is the same energy. It's the energy of Source. It's all the same energy. You put the meaning behind what that energy means. You put the meaning behind what that energy means. All the energy is anonymous. It doesn't have a label. It doesn't have a name. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It seems to be opposite. It seems to compete. It seems to be separate, but it's the same. Unlike and like are the same. The law of polarity, everything has its polar opposite. At the same time, those polar opposites are the same thing. What does that mean? That means that you determine what things mean in your life. You give the power to think. You give the power to everything in your life. Where do you place your power? Where do you place your power? Do you place your power on the belief in yourself, or do you place your power into other things, on limiting beliefs? On the limiting beliefs. Where do you place your power? So the law of polarity states that every pair has an opposite, dual and opposite pairing. At the same time, unlike and like are the same thing. What does that mean? You have the power to place and define everything in your life. All the energies in your life, you have the power to place and define these energies. And on my episode, Kingdom Things Podcast, May the Force be with you. If you go to Spotify or here on the YouTube channel, May the Force be with you. I delve much more deeper into this, the power that you have within inside of yourself, and the power that we place where we place our power. Kingdom Things Podcast, May the Force be with you. This was the Kingdom Things Podcast, Knowledge is Power Edition, Hermetic Principles, the Law of Polarity. Thank you so much for joining me. Remember to love yourself through this process of life. Remember to have fun. Remember to enjoy it. We're here to have fun. We're here to enjoy it. We're here to have fun. We're here to enjoy it. I love you so much.